Yo, yo, yo. We are fucking here. We're doing it. This is my very first video. UFC Mafioso. You know who it is. Well, not yet. But you will. You will know very shortly here who the fuck it is. We're going to get right into it. UFC Fight Night. Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong in the beautiful city of Seattle. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of young prospects here. A lot of debuts going on. And I think it's gonna be a banger card. I think everyone's sleeping on it. And yeah, let's just get into it. First fight, we got Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Sequeira. I think that's how you say it. Um, kind of like a wishy-washy fight here. Not really 100% sure on this pick, but just from what I watched, Modestas Bukauskas has that forward pressure all the time. He never stops pressuring, no matter if he's getting hit or not. And Rafael Sequeira, he has a very I don't want to say methodical because it's not too methodical. He just kind of sits there and he'll throw like a couple punches here and there, but he won't really go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like he just kind of sits back and you know takes his shots, which could be wise, but at the same time, with a fighter like Modestas Bukauskas, you can't really sit back because he's always pressuring. As you can see with Rafael's first fight against Ibo Aslan, Ibo Aslan just fucking pushed him up against the cage and beat the shit out of him. Rafael didn't land a strike. I think he got like a leg kick off or something. So it's like, I don't see a world where Rafael can win this. Although anything can happen in MMA world. I just don't see how Rafael could win this fight. I think Modestas Bukauskas goes in there and it's either a 3 round just beat down from Bukauskas or a fucking knockout first round. We've seen Modestas get an arm triangle, I believe, against Marcin Prachnio, um, which isn't really his style. He's more of a boxer type of guy. But we've seen that. We've seen him do it, and he has very good ground defense. So even if Rafael does get him down there, I think Modestas will be able to get back up. I don't think Rafael's gonna really challenge him on the ground. But hey, you never know. But I'm gonna pick Modestas Bukauskas here. I'm gonna say a finish in the first or second round. Fight number 2, we got Nursultan Ruzaboyev versus Eric McConico. This is Eric McConico's debut. He's coming from Tough and Rough or something, whatever promotion that is. But hey, I might be tripping here, but I think Eric McConico has what it takes to beat Ruzaboyev. And here's why. I believe Nursultan Ruzaboyev is essentially a fraud. In the UFC at least. You can watch his old fights in other promotions and he looks pretty good, but when you look at his win against Bruno Ferreira, Ferreira made a mistake. He threw that, weird timed front kick, which Ruzaboyev caught and just threw it straight right at his chin. And essentially, Bruno kind of slipped and fell down. And Ruzaboyev, having the heavy hands that he does, goes right on top of him, just gives him 3 good ones right on the jaw and knocks him out. Hey, all credit to Nursultan. He took advantage of that opportunity, but it's still he tripped and fell, in my opinion. And then you go to the Cedricus Dumas fight. He poked him in both of his eyes. Dumas is sitting there going like this, hey, ref. And then Nursultan just uppercuts it and knocks him out. Once again, the power from Nursultan is there. I'm not doubting the power. But both of those wins are kind of I didn't see much skill there. It was just kind of his power kind of just did all the work. And off of mistakes. Well, I mean, not the fucking Dumas fight. He just poked him in both of his eyes, so. But then he fights Joaquin Buckley, and he didn't do anything against Buckley. I had Buckley winning all those rounds handily. Buckley got him to the ground in the first round, held him there the whole round. I think in the second round he even got him down there. He knocked him down a couple times. Nursultan didn't do anything to him. And then if you look at McConaughey, it's like Joaquin Buckley and McConaughey kind of got that same little build, you know? McConaughey's a little more stiff on his feet, but they got that same little build. And McConaughey's got some hands, man. He's got some combos. He has a really strong clinch. He can take Ruzaboyev down. I think a lot of people are gonna be very surprised by McConaughey's performance. And I could be wrong. Everyone's like, "Oh, first round knockout, Ruzaboyev, first round." I'm like, I don't know, dude. This guy is good. I watched his fights. He looks good. He's got like a weird little stance. He kind of like fights like this, but I don't know. I like it. I like his style, and I honestly think he can pull one out. Either just a dominant 3 rounds or even a submission, man. I believe he has the opportunities to do it, man. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Eric McConaughey here. All right, next fight. This one was really tough for me to do because these guys, both of them, in my opinion, are like pretty mediocre. But everyone's been waiting for Austin Vanderford to get in here, so I get it. People are excited. So we got Nikolay Veretennikov or whatever, versus Austin Vanderford. I'm not sure how this fight is going to go. I'm really not sure. It's Nikolay kind of is like he's a slower pace type of dude. He's got all the weapons. He's got the kicking, the elbows, knees, punches. He's very quick. He's got KO power, but he doesn't really have that volume that I think that'll make it work against Austin Vanderford. The only way I would see Nikolay getting this fight would be like, cause okay, Austin Vanderford he does this thing where he'll get really close to you, and then he'll like put his head down like, and it's not like the shit that Joaquin Buckley does where he's like going like this. No, he just kind of like goes at people and like puts his head down here with his hands down. So it's like Nicolay could catch him like that. I think that's the only real way he'd win. But Vanderford, he's very fast. He starts really fast. He's really aggressive. He's got a strong ass jab. He's a very good wrestler. He's good all around, really. I mean, I don't know if he really has a submission game, but he's pretty good all around. And I think Austin Vanderford either knocks him out or just dominates him for a whole 3 rounds. Yeah, this is a hard fight for me to gauge because it's like both these guys are, in my opinion, kind of whatever. But Austin looks a little better than him and I think the volume of Austin Vanderford is what's gonna get him the win. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Austin Vanderford. All right, fight for the Ricky Simon versus Javid Bashara. This one was also very hard for me to pick. I really like Bashara. I think he's a very smart fighter. He seems like he always does the right things, but recently, as his competition has gone up, he's looked kind of whatever. Really slow. Not slow like as in like his speed. Slow like he just, I'll just say low volume. He doesn't have that much volume. He kind of like will go in there and, he'll do what he does, but it's like it's almost not enough unless someone like Ricky Simon, who has crazy volume, crazy stamina, goes in there and aggressively just you know what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. It was really tough for me to pick, but I think Ricky Simon, one, from his experience, he's got a lot of UFC fights. He might be inconsistent, but he's got that experience. He's a crazy wrestler, and once Bashar gets on the ground, I think Ricky Simon can kind of neutralize him right there, and yeah, because he's really good at closing distance on people. He might get hit on the way in, but Basharat really doesn't have that KO power. So yeah, I think Ricky Simon gets this one done. This fight I'm real excited for, only because I think Monster is going to murder Nick Klein. When I say murder, I mean like out cold. First round. I don't think Nick Klein has anything from Mansoor. I see a lot of people picking Nick Klein for some reason, and it's like, come on, like let's be real. I watched some of Nick Klein's fights from back then, and it's like this guy's whatever. You know, he looked really good in the Contender Series because it was so quick. He just kind of he threw a front kick or something, and then he got right on his back right away. So it's and he got that rear naked. It looked good, but he's good at that rear naked. He has a couple finishes like that, and I don't think he's gonna be catching Mansoor in a rear naked. Mansoor has very good takedown defense, and even if you do get him down, he's really good at defending all that grappling. And Mansoor's hands are just made of bricks. He kills people with his punches. I mean, I, I don't see any world where Nick Klein can even touch Mansoor. I think Nick Klein dies in this fight. So I'm gonna pick Mansoor. Andre Fili versus Melquizel Costa. This is going to be a fun fight, potentially fight of the night in my opinion. Both of these guys have volume. Both of these guys just want to swing. I'd be very disappointed if Fili pulls out his wrestling in this fight, but hey, it's an MMA fight. Anything can happen. But um, yeah, Melquizel, he's a crazy guy, man. He'll go in there and just start swinging, and that's the kind of fight I like, honestly. And um, Feely, he has a problem with like range. Not a huge problem, but it's like you seen that fight with Dan Ige, and he trains with Dan Ige, so it's like you kind of know what Ige's gonna throw, yet you're standing right in front of him, and he got knocked the fuck out. And yeah, Mekozo Costa's just got that aggression, and it could like if it goes 2 rounds without Mako Costa getting a finish, it could go to that third round and Costa could get tired. So it's like I see a world where Feely could maybe squeak out a split decision, but I don't know. I think Costa's gonna either finish him in the first 2 rounds or he's gonna win those first 2 rounds. And then if it does get to that third round, I think Feely will have the gas tank to kind of make some work. But I just don't think it'll be enough to beat Costa. Costa's way younger than him. He's hungry, I feel, and yeah, I'm gonna pick Costa here. Ion Kudalaba versus Ibo Aslan. This fight is gonna be fun. I can tell you, there's gonna be fireworks. I don't think it's gonna be a fight of the night because it's gonna be an early finish. I could tell it's gonna be an early finish. Everyone's worried about Ion Kudalaba's wrestling. Come on, you really think Kudalaba's gonna wrestle with this dude? He's gonna want to prove something. He's gonna go in there and try to knock him out. Aslan is a very patient guy. His counter strikes are amazing, and I think he's just gonna knock him the fuck out. That's gonna be a fun fight. I cannot wait for this fight. I'm smiling right under this mask. I can't wait for this one. I think Ebo's gonna get this shit done, man. Alonzo Menafield versus Julius Walker. Julius Walker is making his debut. Um, he's a very long guy. You can finish the fight from anywhere, ground, stand up, clinch, anywhere. He's pretty good. I was watching a little bit of his fights last night, and if you watch a little bit of Alonzo Menafield, it's like this dude kind of just rushes people with wild hooks and then just gets caught. And Julius Walker is one of those guys who can kind of sit back and just crack someone. And that's how I see this one going. I think he's just gonna take his time, step back, wait for Alonzo to do something stupid, and knock him out, or knock him down and get on top of him and submit him. Yeah, Menifield's real inconsistent. He's been in the UFC for not a long time. He's been in the UFC for like 5-6 years, but he has a lot of fights. He fights like 2-3 times a year, which I love. I love those active fighters. He's always trying to get it. I don't understand how he's still ranked. He's lost terribly his last couple fights, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Julius Walker here on his debut to get an impressive win. And yeah, Gian Silva versus Melsik Bagdasarian. I think that's how you say it. This fight's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a lot more competitive than a lot of people in the odds say. John Silva, he's had a very impressive run in the UFC so far. He fought Weston Wilson. It's just like anyone can finish Weston Wilson, but he had a very very good performance against Jourdain and Drew Dober. He does get hit a lot. He does get hit a lot. He leaves his hands down and he kind of goes in, goes into the firefight with his hands down. And so I could see Melsick getting a lot of shots off on him. But then again, it's just like I don't know if Melsick can take the volume from John Silva. Um, he's very inactive. He hasn't fought since like I think I could be wrong, but from my memory, I don't think he's fought since like what is it like 2020 or 2021 or something. He hasn't fought in a minute. All of his fights get canceled. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's all of a sudden canceled tomorrow, but um, yeah, I think John Silva's volume is going to be a little too much for Melsick, and I either see a you know, 3 round domination or early KO. I don't think Melsick has it right now. I think he's got to fight a little lower than Silva. Silva's on a tear. So yeah. Rob Font versus John Matsumoto. Okay, this one was pretty hard for me to gauge. Is you know, Rob Font's boxing is next level, as we all know. But he's just like he's very inconsistent, especially against the ground game. And Matsumoto hasn't really shown much of his ground game, but this kid's young and hungry. I could see him kind of like rushing him a little bit, getting him in that clinch, and possibly taking him down. I mean, we don't know. We haven't really seen his grappling, and but he's young. He's hungry. 16-0. He's he looks in the UFC he's looked pretty impressive. So um, yeah, I'm gonna say John Matsumoto here gets it done, gets record to 17-0. Hopefully he fights someone. I want him to fight someone a little younger. You know what I'm saying? Rob Font's 37 years old. This is like, he's an old man, and he's fighting a 25-year-old dude. I think it's a mismatch, but hey, you never know. Rob Font could hit him with some crazy shit. His combos are nasty. But I don't see it happening against a young, hungry dude like Matsumoto. Co-main event, we got Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. This is going to be a fun one. Both of these guys have crazy ground game, crazy submissions. The pressure from both these guys is pretty crazy, and yeah, this one's going to be insane, I think. Hernandez, he's got to work on his striking a little bit. It's not bad, he's clean with some of his strikes, but he's just not on that level with Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen has fought already the best in that division, pretty much, except like what Adesanya, and Duplessis. That's pretty much it. Well, I guess Rob Whittaker, but he's fought most of the elite talent in that middleweight division, and he's gotten wins over a lot of those guys too. So he did have a kind of weak performance against Imavov, but Imavov is on a different level right now. I think he's number one contender, or no, I think he's number two right now. But yeah, Imavov's on a different kind of level right now. So this is a perfect lineup for Allen, and I I don't know how exactly this fight is gonna end, but I think it's gonna be a very close fight. But Brendan Allen's experience in the ring with elite talent is going to be the kind of like, what's it called? The fucking, what's that word? Whatever, fuck it. I think he's gonna edge it out over Anthony Hernandez just from his experience. But, yeah. Main event, Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. This one was very hard for me to gauge as well. Only because Song Yadong's takedown defense is immaculate. Of course, Peter Yan got him down a couple times in their last fight, but it's like that's Peter Yan. His takedowns are quick. They're very fucking quick. And Song Yadong, he did decent until he got tired. You know what I'm saying? And then Peter Yan took advantage of it, and Peter Yan's skills are just unmatchable in that division. I'm really excited to see Peter Yan fights next, but Yeah, Henry Cejudo's wrestling is next level. He is a little old, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this was very hard for me because I like Henry Cejudo's skills, but I don't know if age is a factor now because he fought two amazing wrestlers. So it's really hard to gauge where he's at skill wise right now. Um, he lost in a very close fight, in my opinion, to Aljamain Sterling. And then, yeah, he did get fucked by Marab. Marab's on a fucking different level, though. He's a robot, so it's like, you can't really gauge that. But, I'm excited to see how much of the wrestling Henry Cejudo is successful with and how much he's actually going to use it. I know his boxing isn't as good as Yadong's. Yadong got some crazy combos, crazy striking. And, yeah, it's tough. It's very tough, but I'm gonna go Henry Cejudo. I think he's gonna pressure him the whole fight. Um, Shoot constant takedowns. He could lose the first round, maybe the second, but I think as the fight progresses, Song Yadong is gonna get tired, and I could see Henry Cejudo kind of pressuring his way into a win here if he can dodge the KO power from Song Yadong. Yeah, and that is my predictions, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a like and subscribe. This is my first video ever. So if you are watching this, I fucking love you. I love you with all my heart. Cause this is gonna blow up. I know it is. I'm gonna be doing a lot more with this. I'm just, building ideas right now. This is my very first video, so I'm very excited for the future, and I love you guys. Whoever's watching this, thank you so much. You have a great night.